Hey guys, Button 25 here watching launch of that's MUOS or MUOS-4 Mobile User Operating System 4. Yep, the launch has already occurred, so I just found the one live stream and I'm using that.
To Mission Control here at the Atlas Spaceflight Operations Center. I'm Steve Agate. MUOS-4 delivery on orbit is scheduled to take place nearly 3 hours after liftoff, and because of that long duration, we'll conclude our live coverage about 25 minutes after launch. However, before we sign off, I'll be joined by Commander Paul Benishek from the United States Navy Communications Satellite Program Office to discuss MUOS capability. At T-minus 4 minutes, the launch count will enter a planned 8-minute hold. This hold will allow launch conductor Scott Barney and his team time to check final systems and also resolve the outstanding issues prior to entering the terminal count. At this point, however, we remain on schedule for a 6:18 a.m. liftoff. This morning's launch is the latest in a long partnership between the Navy and the Atlas program. For more than 35 years, Atlas has supported the United States Navy, launching 22 missions, including the Fleet Satcom, UHF, and UHF follow-on satellites. Atlas V launched the first MUOS satellite in 2012, followed by MUOS-2 in 2013, and MUOS-3 earlier this year. The MUOS-4 satellite is the latest addition to an advanced network of orbiting satellites and relay ground stations that is revolutionizing secure, tactical UHF communications for mobile military forces. Users with operational MUOS terminals can seamlessly connect around the globe with new smartphone-like capabilities, including simultaneous crystal-clear voice and video and mission data on a high-speed internet protocol-based system. The MUOS team is led by the Navy's Communications Satellite Program Office. Lockheed Martin is the prime contractor. We recently received a weather briefing from the 45th Space Wing's weather officer. The weather is within the launch commit criteria for this morning's liftoff. The probability of violating launch constraints is 10%. The ground winds are 5 to 7 knots out of the south-southwest, and the temperature 81 degrees Fahrenheit. So after several days of unsettled weather here on Florida's East Coast, the forecast has improved and we are proceeding towards a targeted liftoff with a planned T0 of 6:18 a.m. Eastern Time. There will be a final weather briefing a few minutes from now. ULA is using the Atlas V 551 configuration to launch the MUOS-4 mission. This is the 56th Atlas V Evolved Expendable Launch Vehicle flight since the inaugural launch in August 2002, and the 6th flight of the 551 configuration, the largest in the Atlas fleet. A number of important milestones took place leading up to launch. The Atlas V launch vehicle is produced in Decatur, Alabama, and Harlingen, Texas. It is comprised of a common core booster powered by the NPO Energomatch RD-180 main engine, 5 Aerojet solid rocket boosters, and a Centaur upper stage powered by the Aerojet Rocketdyne RL-10C engine. The MUOS-4 satellite is protected during ascent by the RUAC-built 5-meter diameter payload fairing. On July 24th, final Centaur processing began at the Delta Operations Center, using a new process known as off-site vertical integration. The Centaur upper stage and other structural elements were assembled vertically, saving time and mitigates the risk of weather-related delays. On August 10th, the MUOS-4 satellite was encapsulated inside the payload fairing. Also on August 10th, the Centaur and payload adapter stack was transported from the dock to the vertical integration facility at Space Launch Complex 41 and mated to the Atlas V booster. On August 19th, the encapsulated payload fairing was transported to the Vertical Integration Facility, or VIF, and mated to the Atlas V. In preparation for launch, the fully integrated Atlas V on its mobile launch platform is rolled from the VIF to the pad at Space Launch Complex 41. The BIF is located approximately 1/3 of a mile south of the launch pad. Trackmobiles are used to transport the Atlas V and its mobile launch platform to the launch pad, a quarter-of-a-mile trip that takes about 30 minutes to complete. Once the mobile launch platform reaches its park position at the pad, the team conducts final securing. Once the pad has been cleared about 4 hours before launch, the Atlas V is fueled and configured for launch. The Atlas V rocket stands 206 feet tall, or about 21 stories, and weighs 1,300,000 pounds fully fueled. To lift the Atlas V away from the pad, approximately 2.5 million pounds of thrust, produced by the RD-180 engine and 5 solid rocket boosters.
You can see the locks boiling off there. I'm presuming it's the locks because that's the only thing really boiling off. Or it should be boiling off, or how many damn kerosene is boiling off.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 22 minutes, 48 seconds and counting. We're anticipating a final weather briefing about 1 minute from now.
RC, LC Net 1. RC. Conduct weather briefing on Channel 8 Weather Conference Net.
Roger.
Perform BRCU SIB1 and SIB2 voltage checks.
Roger.
T-minus 19 minutes.
Perform RD180 transducer converter calibration.
We just received the final weather briefing. The probability of violating launch constraints is 10%. Ground winds are 6 to 7 knots out of the southwest, and temperature remains 81 degrees Fahrenheit. We're still proceeding for a 6:18 a.m. Eastern Time liftoff. This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 18 minutes 6 seconds and counting. At nearly 7.5 tons, MUOS satellites are the heaviest payloads to date to ride into space atop any of ULA's Atlas V launch vehicles. From its vantage point in geosynchronous orbit, MUOS-4 will cover approximately a third of the Earth's surface and uses its 14-meter diameter reflecting mesh antenna to communicate with ground-based users. Let's take a look at a video detailing MUOS-4 trip to orbit. The following profile details the important events of this mission using approximate times.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, well, you have RD-180 ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket.
The Atlas RD-180 main engine and 5 solid rocket boosters ignite to lift the vehicle away from the pad. Shortly after liftoff, Atlas begins its initial pitch, yaw, and roll maneuvers to attain the proper ascent profile and minimize aerodynamic loads. The Atlas V reaches Mach 1, a speed of sound, at 36 seconds. At 51 seconds, the vehicle experiences maximum dynamic pressure. The first 2 solid rocket boosters, or SRBs, are jettisoned at 1 minute 46 seconds into the mission, followed a second and a half later by the remaining 3 SRBs. At 3 minutes 22 seconds, the payload fairing is jettisoned. Approaching booster engine cutoff, the Atlas V is burning propellant at the rate of 1,672 pounds per second, traveling at approximately 12,576 miles per hour, and located 84 miles in altitude at 277 miles downrange. Booster engine cutoff occurs 4 minutes 23 seconds after liftoff. 6 seconds later, the booster stage is jettisoned. The first Centaur main engine start takes place 10 seconds after booster separation. Cutoff of the Centaur main engine occurs just over 12 minutes after launch. The mission now enters an 8-minute post-phase. At just over 20 minutes into the flight, the Centaur main engine is restarted. This burn will last nearly 6 minutes. Following the second Centaur main engine cutoff at just over 26 minutes, the mission enters a nearly 2.5-hour post-phase. The Centaur main engine is restarted for a third and final burn at 2 hours 49 minutes. Following a 58-second burn, the Centaur main engine is shut down.
At 2 hours and 53 minutes, Centaur releases the MUOS satellite for the United States Navy.
Primary address second file. Address underscore Alpha Victor 056_04 with SCLCRC Bravo 9 Bravo 0 has been received, verified, and is ready to load into the SCN.
Proceed with load.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 11 minutes, 57 seconds and counting. We are not working any issues at this time and are still proceeding to a 6 a.m., 6:18 a.m. Eastern Time launch.
GCLC Net 1.
GC.
Step 830, switch all secondary units to Earthlink.
Roger.
Guys, I didn't have a chance to finish recording yesterday, so I'm going to complete the recording today.
This is Atlas Mission Control Now at T-minus 10 minutes and counting, we're not working any issues at this time and are still proceeding to a 6:18 a.m. launch.
Bravo 9, Bravo 0 has been verified and loaded into the SPNU.
Roger. Atlas Propulsion LC Net 1.
Go ahead.
His status is step 850.
Stand by. It's still in work.
Roger.
T-minus 8 minutes.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 7 minutes, 11 seconds and counting. We're not working any issues at this time and are still proceeding to a 6:18 a.m. launch. Today's mission is dedicated to ULA employees Jimmy Johnstone and Guy Harris. As a member of ULA's Decatur team, Jimmy was thrilled by each and every launch and brought a wealth of knowledge and ability accumulated over 25 years with Boeing and ULA. Jimmy always had the ability to look at things from the positive side and was able to brighten the day of all those around him. Jimmy was generous to his family, his friends, and to a multitude of others whose lives he touched, giving of himself and helping others. As a valued co-worker and friend, his loss leaves big shoes to fill. Jimmy will be long remembered and greatly missed. This morning's launch is also dedicated in memory of Decatur Production Operations co-worker Guy Harris. Guy was a committed and dedicated team member for more than 33 years, beginning his career at Martin Marietta. Guy displayed a wealth of knowledge and professionalism in his role as a quality engineer. He will be remembered as a caring and respectful gentleman who maintained the highest standards of integrity and willingness to assist others. The MUOS-4 mission is a fitting tribute to Guy because he was a true patriot. He honored and respected our nation's military members and took a special interest in his co-workers' family members serving in the United States Navy. Today, Jimmy and Guy's many ULA friends celebrate their lives and wish them Godspeed. Today, we also honor Jim Loisel. Just minutes ago, Captain Joseph Kahn from the Navy's PMW 146 delivered this remembrance to the launch team.
The launch of MUOS-4 is dedicated in memory of Captain Jim Loisel, United States Navy, retired. Jim executed the MUOS program in its formative years with pride and precision, and left his indelible mark on PEO space systems, the Navy, the nation, and the warfighters we serve. As the fourth MUOS satellite is launched and becomes operational, the vision he began over a decade ago is now a reality. Thank you, Jim.
RFFTS LCNet 1.
Sir, go ahead.
Establish Davis system cameras configured for launch.
Roger. Davis system cameras configured for launch.
Roger.
T-minus 4 minutes at holding. This is the program 8-minute hold.
CISA purge flowing GN2 to the CISA.
Roger. For all personnel, we are complete through Operation 50, Step 1020.
LC Step 1100, redline monitor and event table are in the correct configuration for terminal count.
Roger.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We are not working any issues at this time. This is a built-in hold, and we are still proceeding to a 6:18 a.m. launch.
Attention on the complex, all communications switch to channel 1. All personnel and visitors remain in present position until launch. Maintain operational silence in the LCC.
Terminal count briefing. If a condition exceeds a launch constraint any time after a terminal count status check, the observer shall announce hold on channel 1, identify their station, and briefly state the reason for the hold. MUOS-1, LCNet 1.
What was that?
Looking for
Roger.
MUOS-1.
The launch of MUOS.
SNA switch in enabled position.
SRB ignition enabled.
OSM verify FCO, RCO, and OSM hold fire switches are in the proceed position.
Ready to proceed.
Perform launch on time verification.
Roger.
RC verify solar radiation acceptable for launch.
Verified.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. In a few moments, launch conductor Scott Barney will poll the team for the final go to pick up the countdown. 27 engineers and managers will be polled for system status and readiness to proceed with the launch. This is the final status check before launch for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Eastern Range. Readiness poll includes hydraulics, paired water deluge system, electrical systems, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as launch conductor Scott Barney performs the final polling of the launch team.
Status check to proceed with terminal count. Respond go, no go. Atlas systems, propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
Water.
Go.
Centaur systems, propulsion.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Gas.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
Instrumentation.
Go.
COM.
Go.
Timer.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
DCS.
Go.
Redline monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Op safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
ACS go.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Launch director.
The launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
This is the mission director. You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. T0 is planned for 10:18 Zulu. Set count to start at 10:14 Zulu.
Roger. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. Count will start at 1, 0.
Director.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get a chance.
Count. T0 is planned for 10:18 Zulu. Set count to start at 10:14 Zulu.
Didn't have a chance to finish it last time, so I'm finishing it now. And I turned off the camera because I'm eating.
1, 8 Zulu. Count will start at 1, 0, 1, 4.
Polling is complete and the launch team has been given the go for launch. The countdown will resume approximately 2 minutes from now. From T-minus 4 minutes until launch, you'll be listening to launch conductor Scott Barney and his team performing the final steps in the countdown procedure. You'll hear the team call out the Atlas LO2 topping has been secured, followed about a minute later by the call out for transferring the Atlas and Centaur stages from ground facility power to internal battery power. At T-minus 1 minute 55 seconds, the team will command the launch sequencer to start, followed shortly by securing the Centaur LH2 and LO2 topping activity. At T-minus 1 minute 40 seconds, the team will command the flight control system to launch enable and arm the flight termination system. In the final minute, the Atlas tanks will be verified at flight pressures, followed by verification of Centaur tank pressure. A final status check of Atlas, Centaur, and MUOS-4 readiness is conducted at T-minus 45 seconds. Seconds before liftoff, the RD-180 engines ignite and perform a health check, followed by the ignition of the 5 solid rocket boosters to lift the vehicle off the pad. After liftoff, you'll hear the voice of Marty Malinowski providing launch vehicle ascent data.
On my mark, time will be T-minus 4 minutes and counting. 3, 2, 1, mark. T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
3:55.
This is Atlas Mission Control. The countdown clock has resumed, and we are proceeding towards a 6:18 a.m. Eastern Time liftoff.
Securing yellow 2 topping.
Atlas change to flight pressure.
250.
Adjust internal.
You can see some pieces of ice breaking off.
Atlas mission control at T-minus 2 minutes, 31 seconds and counting. Once the rocket lifts off, it will take only about 34 seconds to reach Mach 1, or the speed of sound.
Vehicle internal.
Launch sequence will start.
150.
Securing Centaur LO2.
140.
FCS launch enable.
This is Atlas mission control at T-minus 1 minute, 32 seconds and counting. The launch vehicle, payload, ground systems, and eastern range are still go for launch.
120.
Orca's arms.
FCS count started.
115.
We're going to CCS for launch.
Roger. 110.
Vent valves locked.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Status.
Range green.
Basically ready to launch, even though this happened a few days, like 2 days ago. 1 day ago, actually.
Stable at step 3.
T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
CS reduced for launch. Roger.
25.
Status check. Go Atlas. Go Centaur. Go MUOS.
This is Atlas mission control at T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. RD-180 ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket carrying the 4th Mobile User Objective System mission for the United States Navy. MUOS significantly enhances communications for U.S. forces on the move. You're now hearing the voice of Marty Malinowski providing launch vehicle ascent data. Let's listen in for mission progress.
Roll program is complete. SRB chamber pressures have plateaued. Mach 1. And booster has throttled back up right on schedule. Engine response looks good. Pump speeds are good. Injector pressures are as good as well. Max Q. Body rates look good. Engine has now achieved the proper throttle setting. Response looks good. And we have begun to throttle down. Engine response looks good as well. SRB chamber pressures looking good. Burn out momentarily.
Okay, guys, there appears to be a bit of a glitch where it continued recording instead of pausing like I told it to. But that shouldn't be too big of a problem. I'm
And
sorry.
we have SRB burnout.
SRB burnout, prepare for SRB SAP.
And booster has now throttled to maintain a 2.5 G throttle in preparation for payload fairing jettison.
But first, I'm presuming booster jettison.
Coming up on SRB jettison.
Boom.
And we've jettisoned 1, 2, and all 5 solids. Looks like a good separation.
Those boosted
Now
a
flying
ton.
Q alpha limited steering. Vehicle rates look good. RD-180 continues to perform well. Closed loop steering has been enabled. Body rates continue to look good. Current altitude is 41 miles, downrange distance 58 miles, current velocity 4,992 miles per hour. RD-180 continues to perform well, pump speeds, injector pressures look good.
NAS is good.
Body rates controlling right down the middle.
Why does that effect actually happen?
Battery voltages are good as well.
If anybody here would know.
And the RCS pyro valve has been fired. That system's now pressurized into flight levels. Signatures look good.
Gosh, that looks so weird. Looks like it got them spider web or something. Not a vampire squid.
Booster continues its throttle to maintain 2.5 Gs in preparation for payload fairing jettison. Current altitude 67 miles, downrange distance 148 miles, current velocity 7,719 miles per hour.
I've never seen that effect before.
And we have payload fairing jettison. Looks like a clean jettison.
Well, I'm presuming
And we have CFR jettison.
What jettison? Oh yeah, the... Right.
Booster has throttled back up.
Yeah, you can see some...
Engine response looks good.
See the fairings and then the two... whatever you call them.
Coming up on our 4.5 G throttle segment. And now throttling to maintain a 4.5 G throttle. Boost phase chill down is underway. Boost phase cooldown is complete. And we have BECO. Engine shutdown looks good.
That looks like a ripple effect.
And we have retros and stage separation. Looks like a clean step. We have LOX and fuel pre-start on the RL-10. The GN2 purge firing on the RCS is underway.
Oh, yep, there's the RL-10.
Ignition and full thrust on the RL-10.
Yep, there it is. I was like, okay, where's the goddamn gimbal? It always does that.
Centaur steering has been enabled.
Literally always. And I can see the trail of the
Rates
RD-80.
look good. LO2 tank pressures have been vented down as expected. Looks good. PU has gone to closed loop control. Engine response looks good for that. Centaur is currently flying at 120 miles per altitude. Downrange distance is 595 miles. Current velocity is 13,827 miles per hour.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 5 minutes 53 seconds. We just heard Marty Malinowski confirm successful completion of the early phase of today's mission. All systems continue to operate nominally. The mission is currently in the first of 3 Centaur engine burns. Our next event, Centaur main engine cutoff, will occur in approximately 7 minutes. I'm now joined by Commander Paul Benishek from the Navy's Communications Satellite Program Office. Commander, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here.
Commander, what benefits does MUOS bring to the table?
Well, MUOS works like a smartphone network in space, vastly improving secure satellite communications for mobile users and the U.S. forces. MUOS provides users a global, on-demand, beyond line-of-sight capability to transmit and receive high-quality voice and mission data on an Internet Protocol-based system.
We're here for a satellite launch today, but I understand that there's much more to the system.
Absolutely. MUOS is a complex orchestra comprised of a 5-satellite constellation, 4 ground stations across the globe, an integrated waveform, radios, and complex software to manage the network. Additionally, more than 55,000 currently fielded radios and terminals can be upgraded to be MUOS capable, with many requiring just a software upgrade.
Commander, this is a Navy-led program, but only services can use this capability.
That's correct. The U.S. Navy plays a key role in national space efforts by providing narrowband satellite communications for the Department of Defense. While MUOS was designed for mobile users who require worldwide secure voice and mission data at higher data rates, these capabilities are also available for ships, aircraft, and ground vehicles used by all U.S. military services.
And what kind of improvements can warfighters expect to experience?
That's a great question, Steve. So, the MUOS constellation will provide users with 10 times more communications capacity over the legacy system. You see, legacy satellite communication systems allowed users to talk as long as they were within the same satellite footprint. MUOS allows troops all over the world to talk, text, and share mission data seamlessly without having to worry about where they are in relation to a satellite.
Commander Benishek, thanks for all that great information. We'll continue our discussion after the next major milestone.
Engine performance continues to look very good. Chamber pressures, pump discharge, fuel venturi, all within expected regions. Tank pressures are stable. RCS lines continue to warm towards bottle temperatures. This first burn is scheduled for approximately 464 seconds in duration. Range track shows Centaur making good progress right down the corridor. All Centaur systems continue to look very good. RL-10 performance is nominal for the set MR. RCS line temperatures have nearly achieved bottle temperatures. Haulage pressures are stable. Helium bottle pressures look good. Batteries are good. Centaur continues to request an oxidizer-rich condition.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 10 minutes 32 seconds into the MUOS-4 mission. All systems continue to operate as expected. The Atlas Centaur second stage and MUOS-4 satellite are currently located over the Atlantic Ocean, east of Antigua. Our next event, the first Centaur main engine cutoff, or MECO-1, is scheduled to take place in about 2 minutes. Here's Marty Malinowski.
Centaur continues to make good progress down the middle of the range corridor. Current altitude is 138 miles, downrange distance 2,075 miles, current velocity 16,942 miles per hour. Approximately 1 minute to MECO. And we have IIP vanished. Centaur is now orbital. RL-10 continues to perform well. PU controlling near nominal. RCS line temperatures have achieved bottle temperatures. Tank pressures are stable. Batteries look good. And we have MECO. Engine shutdown looks good. We have 4S settling motors on.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 12 minutes, 38 seconds in flight. The MUOS-4 mission is currently in a cruise phase over the Atlantic Ocean, traveling in the southeasterly direction over the west coast of Africa. Our next event is the second start of a Centaur RL-10 engine. This event is scheduled to take place in approximately 7 minutes. While we wait, let's take a look at a MUOS video.
MUOS, the Mobile User Objective System, is the U.S. military's answer to secure and reliable tactical communications for the foreseeable future, and it's being delivered by the United States Navy.
Yeah, 3 critical points for the MUOS program is first, it's operational, supporting the warfighter every day. Secondly, it brings enhanced capabilities over the legacy system. And thirdly, it is critical for the tactical warfighter.
MUOS is a global system, and it allows the communicator to make a call from, say, DC to the Middle East, all in one system. That capability is brand new, and with that capability, it brings a lot of opportunity.
Born from the need for stable, 24/7 ship-to-shore communication that could be successful regardless of environmental and geographical conditions, the Navy is assigned the responsibility to provide this vast capability known as narrowband satellite communication.
So from a space accomplishment perspective, MUOS-1 was the highlight of our effort at the time. But fast forward to now, with the launch of MUOS-4, we're going to deliver that worldwide coverage and communication service for the users.
The nice thing about MUOS is that the ground system and the terminals contain all the switching and routing technology. The satellite remains unchanged over time, and we can allow technology insertion into the ground and the waveform over time to increase capability without having to make any satellite change.
The MUOS WCDMA is similar to technology.
Well, that's it.